Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. What a day it is today. It's a day. It's another day. What are you pointing at? What do you got? The big screen? Why it's cut off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be at the moment. Hi. How are you guys? We're working on the studio. So just to let everybody know. And Roxy's going to ask questions and we'll have answers. I'm so excited. And I'll tell you what. You guys have done so much already. If you haven't already, please subscribe, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We've been getting more sponsors, and that's really because of you guys. Even if you're watching on the YouTubes, if you are downloading the episodes, playing the episodes, whether you're driving in the car, you're at the gym, or whatever it is, it helps tremendously. And it really, really has been working, and I thank you guys so much. The other thing that I wanted to mention to everybody already, if you wanted to, this is on me. There were tons of people who wrote and said, hey, you have a Patreon? And you just assume, because I put the link in the description every week that people know, and people have been asking, well, you never post about the Patreon itself. And I said, well, I talk about it enough, but this is it. This is the Patreon. It is patreon.com/thebigthingshow. And the link is in the description, and there's the iCard for it. Now, you see that box right now that has the, there's nothing there with even bigger things. Well, that's going to change come October. It's going to be a $25 tier, and one of the writers from the Schmodown PLD, who you may or may not know, you should know, he's awesome. He's going to be running a trivia show on that tier. We're going to be doing a couple other things. So come on by. It's a lot of fun. We've been really active over there, so we hope you guys will join us. And that's it, man. We got a lot of stuff going on today. It's Roxy's on the show. Brett's on the show. We have so much news to talk about. This Deadpool thing, House of the Dragon, Blade's getting a new director. I mean, there's so much. That's one of many things. This Dahmer show everyone's talking about. There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about. I pulled a lot of stories today, and I can't wait to talk about it with Rox and Brett. So let's get into this. The big thing. Yeah, that's what I said. Howdy doody doo doody 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 doody. What's up, everybody? Thursday. Roxy Streyer's here.
Yeah.
Brett Sheridan's here with Yoda. I asked Brett beforehand, I said, you want Yoda in that shot? He's like, I kind of like him. Makes me happy.
It's Yoda's birthday, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got the hat on.
Yeah.
And look at that shot. Roxy, what do you think in the studio thus far?
It's looking sick from the camera angles.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
I know, from the camera angles. That's very true.
Right.
So if you could see the other side of the studio, it is a disaster at the moment. Like, you have to tiptoe in order to even get in this place. But this,
Yeah, it looks really good.
nice.
It's a good disaster to have, though.
It is,
It's
of course.
stuff that still needs to be built and put up, and I'm not complaining.
I am not complaining in the slightest.
I am.
You are, because you don't have to.
Because I don't have to do anything, so I can just come in and say, there's a lot of boxes in here.
Yeah.
It's true. And there are. And I'll tell you what, look, I'm going to show you this just for people that want to see, because people are like, well, how much is left on the list? That is it. That is all that is left on the list.
Ooh, that yellow chair. What are you thinking?
Think about it for guests, right, Brett? Because we have. So you see the corner there, the couch over there, Rox. Mm-hmm. So we want to put
Kind of.
Yes, kind of. I know. We have a special guest that might be coming in either the next week or the following.
Who is it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
But look, that's it. There's a vacuum cleaner, lens, some coffee.
I have special thanks to them for keeping my ass comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
This chair is sick.
We got new chairs.
The chair before was very uncomfortable.
There's dining room chairs.
And I'm not Steph. I'm not packing back there, so it's just a lot of bone on wood. Was the situation.
But you know what?
A little too early for that kind of talk.
Now I've got bone on cushion, which is much better, much better.
What I will tell you is that you've never complained about it until afterwards, which is fine.
That's nice.
I would have been okay if you would have complained about it, because it was a necessity. So what happened for me is when I left Collider, and I just said, okay, I got to set up some kind of studio, and and I think it was Thad, and then you came over for a little bit, but Thad came over and really set up a lot of these. So this was in 2019 and helped me set up, but I didn't have
Panini. Whoa!
I didn't have anything. So I was like, okay, Rachel Cushing was generous enough to say, hey, I have a table, a dining room table and chairs that I'm going to throw out. Do you want it? And I was like, I got nothing. So I put those in there. They lasted us for a long time. And Brett,
Sorry, but Rachel, your chairs sucked and they hurt my ass.
no, but for a dinner, it'd been great. But
Yes.
to do a shower with, nah,
Yeah, when I tried to shower with that chair, it was not working.
it was not working at all.
Yeah, but I'm really grateful for the chair, and I'm really grateful for the headphones.
Headphones,
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
because all of a sudden, my head grew 2 sizes too small, and the headphones were like sliding off of
I
me.
literally look around and say I'm thankful for these lights that we have.
Yeah.
This stream deck that I'm using.
Like
at the moment.
Nate the Great, right?
Nate the Great. There's
What's his
so
actual
many.
name? First Rate Nate.
Yeah,
Sorry.
first name. So many people that donated. It's incredible. Like there's that clock in the back, and then even people that not even necessarily for the list itself, but like Gentle Giant reached out. Look at all those figurines on the back there with the
that's
Storm
sick.
Shadow and Cobra Kai and Darth Maul. It's amazing.
Follow-up questions.
Yeah.
How is it possible that every single day that I came into Collider Live, I complained about how the microphone smelled, and no microphone here has ever smelled?
Well,
We got new cushions on them.
that's part one.
What's the common denominator on that?
Who knows? There was a lot of people coming in and out of that
Yeah.
studio, to be fair.
It was fucking disgusting.
gross. It was
The
gross.
way that it smelled was like, I can't.
Who knows?
I'm gonna get an STD from being that close to the mic.
Who knows what was going on? But there was a lot of guests coming in and out, and who knows if one of them had halitosis? We don't know.
That's
They
true.
make a, they make a spray for it too, or so. Like the ones I got new ones on the list because some of them were actually deteriorating
Yeah,
and start to
right.
go. But like you can just take them and soak them in water and
If
clean
you
them up
wanted
a
to,
little
yeah,
bit.
no, we replaced these, and it looks better. It feels like we replaced someone got us the stands, the new stands, because the stands were really big and they were covering everybody's faces.
Totally.
And now
Now we got the real money maker.
Yeah,
I
Brett.
pointed to Brett, but
Oh.
you made it seem like I said myself.
Yeah, it's true.
me and Yoda.
The power of
Got the
editing.
Schmodown belts on the shelf, and we got the Schmodown Spectacular, the final Schmodown of all time. It's going to be on the Schmodown Archives channel, which is also in the link in the description. You can watch it live October 1st, my birthday. And I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a hell of a show, and I'm excited about it. Now, people were asking, like, because if you go onto the old Schmodown channel, there's no Schmodown matches on there whatsoever. Everything's private. You know, why would you do that? Because I had to. It was an agreement that I made when Skybound Entertainment was awesome in everything that went down before we signed with them, during, and then afterwards. And the agreement that I had with them, with all the stuff that they helped produce, was that I would only have that material on one particular channel, and I had to choose. And I chose, and the archive channel will be where it lies, and you guys will be able to find all of it. So even if it's not up there now, it will be there eventually. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. But yeah, I was so happy, by the way, that you made it to the Spectacular, because it was a chance that you weren't going to make
I
it.
didn't think I was going to
Yeah.
make it. And then I did. I popped by for 45 minutes, and I was like, thank frickin' gosh. Because you want to know, the night before, you had texted me, and I felt so guilty. Not because you said anything.
Right,
you were
right.
like, completely understand. Your dad's in town. My dad hadn't been here in 7
Right,
years.
right.
And you were like, I get it. Don't worry about it. But then because you were so cool about it, then I was like, fuck, I got to try to go. Like, I was hoping you had been more of a dick. And then the day of, Kate texted me and was like, I think it's really weird that you're not here.
I did not tell her.
No,
that.
she
Yeah.
didn't say no weird. She was just like, it feels like the last day of senior year.
She said,
You've
yeah.
been part of this from day one. I'm not pressuring you, but like, it's bizarre that you're not here. And I was like, Dad, I'll be back in an hour. And he was like, go. You didn't even tell me you had a thing. Because obviously I didn't, because I knew he would
course,
say to
yeah.
go, whatever it was. But I was so glad I was able to make it and kind of just like hug everybody and watch some stuff.
Did feel like last day
Take a
of senior
picture
year,
with
for
you.
Sure. Yeah. I was doing. Did we take a picture? We did. Yeah.
Posted it, man.
I know you did, but I was like, well, you said it in a way
You
that
didn't know I did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
No, you did.
I did.
Oh,
It's on tape right
he
now.
liked it. He commented.
It's on tape. Nice try, Brett.
Go back. Look, there's a like.
Just figure it
I
out.
do think he did like it.
I did.
I think he said
I'm sure
something
he did.
like, good to see you, kid.
Do you
Yeah.
understand that?
Sounds-
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Do you understand that this thing's broken sometimes?
Oh, I mean, whoa. What's
Yeah.
your whoa?
Right.
Like that, you know?
I'm going to bring up the same thing that before we get into the topics that I brought up with Ellis, because it's really becoming a problem. The dog just keeps whipping his penis out everywhere. My
In
dog-
public?
Everywhere, Roxy.
Public penis.
It's a problem. And you know what I didn't mention the other day, Brett? He's hung like a bull, and he's a pug. And it's like, even Sadie last night was like, it's just so disturbing because he sits down and then you just, and it's like this arm comes out. And
Is it pink?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
the problem.
it's weird.
It's bad, and he's just like he's taking a dump. It comes out. He's sitting down waiting for
Boner
food.
or no?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
and then the kids are like, oh, come on, and he's just I don't know.
Your kids get what's happening?
I mean, kind of. They just know that it's coming out. They don't know why.
Is this sex talk age?
Nah,
No.
Well, one's 5.
Yeah, no. So
Just turned 5.
that's
The other
too
one's-
young.
And the other one's 11, so not yet.
Okay, what
10.
that's
10.
14 kind of.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
There
know these
are
kids.
ones that you can do for littler one. There's a great book called Mommy Laid an Egg, and it's kids asking like, how are babies made? And the parents just tell them all this bullshit like storks and all this
Right,
stuff.
right, right.
And then at the end the kids go, oh, because I thought the dad put the penis inside of the mom and then left, and then they're
how it
like,
happens? Is that how
yeah,
it goes?
Yeah, and
Oh, it does?
it's a great book. It's because it's like they're making up all this, and then a stork flies in and blah blah blah.
I
Great book.
wrote it.
Go
Good
check
job.
it out. It's called Mama Laid an Egg, coming
Nice.
Tuesdays this fall.
I gotta tell you, Brett, I gotta give you some props, man.
Ooh.
These shots look good.
Yeah.
They really look good. The camera looks good. The studio looks good.
Oh,
I
What
like
shot
it.
looks best?
I'm still gonna say, I say yours. I think
Yeah.
yours looks the best.
Is it because I'm in it?
Maybe.
Oh.
It could be.
So what is this is going to be really entertaining for the people at
Go ahead,
home, and you
go
guys
ahead.
are so welcome. So why does your shot need to be cut off on the side?
No one heard what you just said.
I mumbled.
You mumbled right through
I've
that.
not slept in a really
Yeah.
long time.
And you're normally
What-
pretty clear spoken,
I
but
was
this is
already
what
fucking-
you just said. So I don't mean to bore the audience, but I gotta ask you this.
I got what you just said. Why is your shot cut off on the right side?
Mine?
Yeah.
he didn't know you. He didn't notice it.
Oh, you mean
No,
the
I
screen?
told him.
You're talking about the screen?
No, see that little
No,
black area
on the right.
Oh.
And you said it has to be like that.
Nope.
No,
Oh,
I thought you were talking about the screen itself.
I was like,
I was
don't.
like, why? Why does it have
We'll
to
just
be-
let it go.
No, you shouldn't have.
It has to be like that, Rox. What you don't understand is it has to be like that.
All right.
Okay.
I thought
well,
I thought you were talking about the big screen. Another thing that was brought by the audience is that screen in the background there.
screen is sick. Or as I like to say, shamanamana.
Yes.
Let's get into some stuff.
What are you
Let's
thinking?
start with we're
Who's
gonna
that
double
guy?
up here. We're gonna start with Logan, and a comment that was made by James Mangold, right? Director of Indiana Jones, but also obviously director of Logan. So there's massive news, which we'll get into in a moment, with Hugh Jackman returning to the role of Wolverine for the upcoming third Deadpool film. And there's a lot of reaction out there, with a good chunk of it centered on James Mangold's 2017 film Logan. The film pretty definitively killed off Jackson's character, which led to much speculation about what incarnation we'll see in Deadpool 3. Mangold himself amusingly weighed in on all the chatter, posting a gif of X-24 impaling the original Logan on a tree. The reaction to that posting was swift and in some cases harsh, as some people either misinterpreted the gif or took it far too seriously. It got bad enough that Mangold was forced to, a few hours later, state clearly his actual reaction to the news, to which he tweeted, "Oh my gosh, everybody chill. Just kidding. I'm all good. Logan will always be there. Multiverse or prequel, time warp, wormhole, canon, non-canon, or even without a rationale. I cannot wait to see what madness my dear friends Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman cook up." Sean Levy will direct the third Deadpool, which is currently targeting a September 2024 release. All right, there's a lot here, and we can also talk about the news that yesterday, or when we recorded this, I guess it was on Tuesday, Ryan Reynolds does what Ryan Reynolds does, and he just drops a social media bomb and says, "Hey, sorry, D23, you missed us, but we've been working on Deadpool 3, which everybody thought was happening anyway. But we've been doing some stuff. We've been working on some stuff. And we want to make it different because Deadpool's always different. We want to do something big, and we couldn't come up with anything. So we thought of something." And then Hugh Jackman's walking in the background, and he says, "Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?" He says, "Yeah, sure, Ryan, why not?" There's a big smirk, and then they announce that he's coming back, and Deadpool's coming back on what was it? November 2024? Is that what it is?
Let me look.
Or is October? It's like either October or November 2024. And Roxy's going to look it up, but it's probably September. No, it is. It's September. It is. It's September 2024. Because yesterday, when I was doing the reaction, I said, I go, oh, okay, it's coming out in 1 year. And I see 2024. I go, good math, asshole. It's
September 6th.
September 6th. It's
2024.
It's 2 years. It's about a little less than 2 years it's coming out. So that means they've been filming it and doing all that stuff. And people are like, oh, that's too far away. I'm like, it tells you they've been working on it because 2 years is pretty quick in the long run.
Too far away for what?
Because
for people's taste?
People thought that it was potentially going to come out in next year.
Right, but it's not like we're being held up. Other things are contingent on this, so they just want it quicker.
Well, the question is it?
We
right?
deserve it quicker.
That's right.
They've
Right.
earned it.
That's right.
Quicker.
Well, the question is this, though, because everybody was talking about X-Men.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, wait a minute. Does this hold up X-Men? Like, what are we not going to get another Wolverine? Are we not going to is Hugh Jackman coming back to play him? They're going to continue that storyline? Like, what is it? And I think that what the answer to that question, first of all, I think you're going to start to get peppers in of the X-Men throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe soon. I think even
We've already gotten it a little bit.
we have in both Ms. Marvel and I think Namor now has confirmed that he's a mutant. That the actor confirmed it. And I think we're going to get even more of that in Black Panther. And I think Doom's going to come in, and I think we're going to start playing into X-Men and all of those things real soon.
You think full-blown Storm in Black Panther?
I don't think Storm, because I think that they're still in agreement with Fox. I think you can't use any of the original. Like, you have to use the original actors up until like 2025. I think is the.
No matter how many times I look into that,
Yeah.
I don't.
Can't find it.
No, I can't. I cannot compute the Fox versus Marvel. Like, every time somebody says something different to me, like, well, the thing about Spider-Man rights are,
Yeah.
and then insert any 5,000 different answers there.
I think that the best way that I can, I'm not going to tell you that I have a 100% clear cut understanding
On which characters can be.
From what I understand, my interpretation of it is this: that the actors such as Hugh Jackman, whether it's Fassbender or McKellen, any of those actors, their contracts still are held up in the fact that if you're going to use any of those characters, Wolverine, Professor X, any of them, you've got to use those actors because of the contracts that they have with Fox, and Disney took those on as well. So
Did we do that in Doctor Strange? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Professor X, and then they're doing it again with Hugh Jackman now.
Forever.
And maybe that was the conversation. Maybe the
Does that
conversation.
include New Mutants?
Not necessarily, because New Mutants was. Oh, you mean I guess if they used some of the New Mutants?
Yeah.
Again, that's why I don't have a clear cut understanding of it, but I can say that it does make a little bit more sense now when you say, okay, well, they used Patrick Stewart, they're using Hugh Jackman again because they go, well, look, we want to use the character, we have the multiverse. So let's just use him. Plus, it's Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds can get him back. And that's probably why they didn't announce anything at D23, because they're probably still either finalizing it or they didn't want it to take away or detract from a lot of the other stuff. I have no idea if that's factual. That's just the way that I have interpreted what I've read. But it does seem to make sense. And then once 2025 hits, that's probably when you'll start to see, with the multiverse starting to come to an end, you'll start to see the new casting for Wolverine and Storm and all these people. That's what I would guess.
My favorite part of the whole story is, oh my gosh, everybody chill. You just hear.
I was gonna say the same.
I
love him.
Gosh, everybody chill. It's like, because we don't let creators be funny or cute anymore.
Everything means something.
Everybody looks into everything. If you say something, it's like law.
He's salty.
Like you take out your phone, you tweet something in 2 seconds, thinking, "Haha, that was clever," and the world's like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Social media, man.
Insane. So
He should stay off of it too, though. He should just be focusing. He is one of my favorite directors.
Really?
Oh, I love James Mangold, and that's why I have said this. I love Steven Spielberg. He's one of my favorites of all time. I would have been way more excited that Mangold was announced to direct Indiana Jones than if Spielberg would have been announced again. I liked it if you want to get input from him and everything. Absolutely, it's Steven Spielberg, right? Mangold is just at a different level on that type of scale right now. What are you talking about all the time? I'm just talking about right now. What Spielberg is making at the moment. He's making powerful movies, whether it's The Post. I thought West Side Story is one of his best of what he's done lately.
Oh yeah, The Post.
The Post. I mean, movies like that. I think he gets so invested in, and he's just a great filmmaker, and he does that. The big budget blockbuster movies, they haven't really hit for me with him lately. And I just think that he's done it already. He does. What else does he have more to prove? Mangold right now is just firing. That trailer, man, for Indiana Jones, holy shit.
What are the other Spielberg movies that have happened recently?
Recently?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in and you look at recently for Spielberg, I mean, Ready Player One, I like.
I loved that movie.
I like it, but it's not looked upon as one of the.
All right, let's see. Since let's
He
go
made a
since-
music video on an iPhone.
He sure did.
So since 2011, Adventures of Tintin and Warhorse.
I loved both of those movies, but not. And Warhorse is not a big blockbuster movie. It's more so in the vein of The Post and everything. I love both of those movies, but they're not.
2012, a little bigger with Lincoln.
Again, not a blockbuster movie. More so big Oscar movie. So those are the types of movies he should be doing.
2015, Bridge of Spies.
Same thing. Post.
2016, The BFG, which
Did not do well.
which was no.
I didn't see it.
Love that book though.
see it.
The Post was 2017, Ready
Yep.
Player One 2018,
Yep.
then nothing 2019, 2020 because pandemic.
And
2021
look at what he's
West Side
produced.
Story.
Look at what he's produced, and his name is all over like things, whether it's Transformers and other things. His name is all over these things produced. But
Oh, he's executive producing Animaniacs. Interesting.
oh, that's what I'm saying though, is that this is not me just coming up with this thing going, oh, you know what I think Spielberg should do. He's made that decision. You look at that resume that that Roxy just read down over since 2011. He hasn't done a lot of those big movies.
He EP'd Bumblebee. I didn't know.
I think anything with the Transformers franchise has his name on it now. Yeah.
Wow, he has been EPing left and right. This is
He's
wild.
EPing the whole.
He EPs left, he EPs right.
Oh.
He EPs 167 titles.
Yeah. So
Same.
Must be exhausted.
He's directed 62 things.
that makes sense. But look, that's my point. I think that he knows where he is. He knows he's comfortable in his lane right now.
Oh, he's got that thing that they announced a while ago, Black Hawk.
Okay, is that a directing?
That's the war movie, yeah, that he's directing.
Oh, I got to ask you.
To separate
I'll do
black
that.
and hawk when you say that.
Yes, please.
I am mumbling like a mother.
It's all right. So,
And then
let's stick with Mangold for a moment.
Okay, sure,
So he makes that comment of just chill, relax. It's just I'm not taking shots at anybody. I'm just kidding around here. And what it does. This is why Marvel can do a lot of these things right now is because of the multiverse, and they've already talked about how the multiverse is going to end in 2025. The multiverse saga comes to an end after the last Avengers, the Kang Dynasty or whatever it is. Then it comes to an end. So everybody, you're not going to see any more of that type of stuff. But if you can do it,
I don't think that's true.
You don't think they're going to?
We're not going to see any more of that. I guarantee you, there's little bits and pieces.
Maybe, but I think you gotta nip it in the bud though. After a while, I think it's fun to do for a few more years, and then start focusing again because. Logan is just it's just a multiverse. It's the same thing. It's like comics in general. There were tons of stories, comic books that didn't all fit into the same timeline that it was like a one-off and you read them. And that's kind of how I always felt about Logan.
Yeah. I mean, let's go over to DC for one quick
Sure.
second on it. Because, not to say that they're the...
Shill.
I am a DC show. Not to say that they're the gold standard right now.
Speaking of gold standards.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So if we go over to DC for 1 second, people aren't stoked with DC, but people don't seem to be confused about the fact that we've got Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, Michael Keaton was coming back possibly as
Still seems like it's
Batman.
gonna happen.
Oh yeah, we'll see what ends up happening there. Then at the same time, there was Batman on Titans. There was Batman in Gotham. There was just like 15 live action Batmans at one time. It wasn't really 15, but it was legitimately like 6, all over the place. And people get it. It's Batman, so it's Batman.
Right.
So multiverse does work, and I don't think audiences get confused by that, even though people say that they do. But I guess that doesn't mean that we always want to see it that way. We've seen it get very messy over there.
It has, and they're fitting it into this whole thing with Kang, which I think is going to be more interesting. It's going to tie everything together, and it'll play out. So I wasn't worried about that at all. Well, it's going to negate anything that happened in Logan. It's like, no, there's tons of stuff already that we know is going to happen. So that to me, I didn't even know this story was a thing until I saw the Mangold story. So combining that, go ahead.
You think we're still going to get a Wolverine casting?
Casting, maybe, because you can still. I would assume that you can still talk about the casting. if you're not going to have a movie that actually comes out. I don't know how it works legally.
Yeah, I don't get how it works
I'm not
either.
sure. So I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we know Hugh Jackman's coming back. I like the idea that he's coming back. I like that he's doing with Deadpool. And I think even in Deadpool 2, they had like time travel and stuff with Cable and how that all worked. So
Do you think that we're going to get multiverse him? Do you think we're going to get flashback him? Do you think that we're going to get Deadpool visioning him? Like what?
I think we can get all of that.
All of it.
Yeah, I think we can get all of it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to, you mentioned Batman, by the way. And I don't know, if you've watched all the Batman movies and you've seen everything, Batman fucks. And I think he's using joy mode, man. And why? Well, he doesn't need joy mode. Look, he's running around fighting, doing all that stuff. He's using supplements to work out. So he's using supplements to get down. Catwoman told me. I'll tell you that. Look, the problem is, and I've mentioned this many times over, when you go to those gas stations and those stupid erection pill branded ones that you see, you're going, oh, I can get them. They're cheap. Yeah, but they're going to hurt you. They're not good for you. And a lot of the same stuff on the market that says they can help you in the bedroom, but the problem is you get a 4-hour hard-on walking around knocking over plants. Nobody wants that. Joy Mode is here to save the day, and whether you're happy or unhappy, it really doesn't matter. So, I don't have problems in the bedroom. It's not about whether I can get it up. It has nothing to do with that. It's a matter of, like, same thing. It's a supplement. Now, if you do have problems, this is going to help you out. Same thing. Wouldn't you rather take a supplement designed to spice things up naturally rather than a prescription drug that can have harmful effects down the road? Joy Mode was created because the products on the market are not great, and they knew that they could do better. Prescriptions come with all sorts of side effects, and the over-the-counter gas station pills are just not, they're fraudulent. Fraudulent. If you want to spice things up in the bedroom, you want to boost your sexual performance, you do it naturally without any of those nasty prescription drugs, we've got a special offer for the Big Thing audience. You go to usejoymode.com/bigthing or enter Big Thing at checkout for 20% off your first order. 20% off is that's pretty great. Use joymode.com/bigthing. You get 20% off that first order. Thanks, Joymode.
The most ironic part about that is that Joy Mode will give you a big thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think that's why they keep re-upping.
Yeah, they're
it's
like,
just it's a perfect fit.
we can't not sponsor these guys.
I mean, it's right.
Y'all want a big thing? Joy Mode.
That's it. That's it. Who you dating? Got new stories?
Yeah, it's been really a plethora of men just trying to a revolving door.
Not using Joy Mode.
Cycling through. I can't even get them. I don't even meet them.
To use
they
the
might
Joy
be using Joy Mode. They're just not coming to my door.
Well, wait, what happened? You were talking about
you were sick of it.
the number from the nail
Salon.
the salon nailist.
Yeah,
as
I
they
didn't
go.
respond.
Oh, you didn't respond. Okay.
I don't know what's
My
happening
nails, because you don't watch SCN Live.
I do. I watch it all the time.
How was it
Really good.
yesterday?
You guys did good.
Thank you so much. We did do good.
I know.
So my nail woman quit. She sent me a long text.
sorry.
She got in a silent fight with her aunt, and she walked out.
Okay.
And then the next day, I got a text from a guy saying, Crystal gave me your number.
That's not right.
So she, I guess, is trying to set me up with this guy. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what his last name is.
wrong with
I don't know what he does. I don't know what his social is. I don't know anything.
Hi, Crystal gave me your number.
Hi.
Hi.
So he was saying that I could respond to him, and I'm saying I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, because you don't know who he is.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah, if Crystal had more information
Didn't
on
give you
this
anything.
feller.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, all he wants to talk about is the fact that Crystal left, which I'm devastated about.
You hear about Crystal? She left.
Hey.
Want to go out and get some pizza?
But what if he's the love of my life?
Could
That's
be.
the
We just
thing.
hung like a bull.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, nobody on the horizon.
Nothing. So
Nothing.
no joy mode.
Yeah, but I'm back in the game.
Good for you. Oh, you were excited again.
Yeah, like I go
Because
through
2
these
weeks ago, you
phases.
wanted nothing to do with this anymore.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm going through a phase right now where I feel like whenever I go through that phase where I'm like ready to fight,
Right.
that's when I attract men, which is
Yeah,
so
right.
weird.
And no, it's not weird at all. And it's like it's the same thing. I was thinking about this the other day when I was looking for like a job, and I was talking to one particular company, and I was like just banking on everything, and I'm like, oh my god, checking your emails, going, oh my god, I hope this is it's got to be it, and it doesn't happen, right? Because you just, and then when you're like, I don't know if I necessarily need that. Then the offers start coming in, and more things are happening. Like, it's the same thing with dating. It's
Totally.
like I don't care.
Definitely, but the thing that is weird, I just did a 10-day stint back home in Boston, and I am a fucking hot commodity there. Like, back in Boston, if you are single, I'm your type. Out in LA, it is really...
You'd be married if you went back to Boston.
For sure.
100%. It's the same thing, yeah.
It was actually really bizarre. Not bizarre. That's a weird way of putting it, just in case they ever see this. It was really lovely. When I went home, the Always Lola, the movie that I'm in, was playing at the Boston Film Festival, and I invited all my friends and family.
They all showed up?
All showed up.
Right.
We sold out the theater. It was amazing.
Right.
Incredible.
That's awesome.
But one of those people is my ex-boyfriend, whose wedding I went to.
I remember.
Right. So he was there with his wife. And it's so funny to me because my friends all thought, like, if I didn't go to LA and if I just stayed home and decided...
You would have married him.
Yeah, I would, because I fucking love this kid. He's amazing. There's nothing between us.
I know what you mean.
But
just respect him as a
if
person.
what I wanted, he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
So if what I wanted was to get married and have children and like live in a beautiful house and stay back in suburbia, then that would have just been, and it was so interesting to watch him and his wife live that life coming to my movie. And I was like, this is such a weird feeling. Yeah. It's just it was an interesting moment.
I felt the same too when I would go back home with some of the peeps, when I would meet some of my friends from like first to like 8th grade. And I just remember going back when I was that age going, I want to be like, whether it was, I've talked about Vanessa.
Yeah.
And be like, and then down, I can tell you, I have from everything that we have done we've gone back to New York and we've gone back for Schmodown and other things too, and reconnecting. It's like a different vibe when you go to LA and like just seeing these people again. And it's like, it's like people look at you different because you've gone off and done different things, because it's a lot of my friends who stayed back, and I think you have the same thing, the East Coast. Stayed back on the East Coast, and once it's like 22, 23, they start settling down and they start getting married. And it's a very different, and that's not just East Coast. It's a lot of different places. It's hard out here. Yeah,
it's really hard. Everybody there was there with their spouse. Every single one of my friends. And all hired babysitters for the night.
100%.
And afterwards, we're like, we got to get home to our babysitter. And I was like, of course, thank you so much for hiring a babysitter to come. But it was so funny because there I am with my cast, and they're like looking at what my life could have, would have been, but not should have. No. Could have, would have, never should have. Oh my God. Yeah, Freudian slip. I want that life. No,
there's only one thing. Here's the song about Roxy. And when she was almost married, she was with Lola at the screening, and she saw the guy that could have been meaning with her and her life, but he was with his wife. And everybody knows they took a knife and they cut a cake, and then grandma on the table, that she's dancing on the table, said, "Stop it, grandma, I'm talking about Roxy's life. She almost was the wife, but now she is an actress and she is a star, and I saw her sleeping in her car."
That was your best one? Yeah.
Thank you.
That was really unbelievable and accurate.
Yeah, that's true. I did see Roxy sleeping in her car.
I'm just nodding off, okay? I was already parked.
Listen. This was meditating.
Tell me more about the Peg Boys.
There's the deal with the Peg Boys. I've actually gone back home and seen friends, and I always thought that people would be jealous of me going to LA and becoming a big star like I am. But no, I actually went back and I was like, oh man, I wish I could have wanted this, because like I've got a friend that married, has a great house. He's got this wood shop of like, it's got filters in it, every saw.
You wish you didn't have that thing. Just like you gotta go and chase that thing.
But you do.
Right.
But that's the problem. But you do. I think that all the time. I said
narcissistic assholes.
I said to my sister the other day, like, I just genuinely wish that we got multiple lives, because one of my lives could have been a back home
line
chilling. But
line jumping.
You made this shit up though, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
No shit.
Yeah, but just do it. Stop questioning. Just do it.
No shit, I made it up. If not, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be in 1956. I don't know why I picked that year, but either way.
I'd be a cabinet maker.
Yeah, 1956, not a good time. Maybe for
Depends
some.
on where you went.
Not for you.
Not for you.
Yeah.
The whole time's been good
Could
for
I even
us.
vote then? I don't
Yeah.
think so. When
Not
can
sure.
women vote?
You get
60s?
you get a good milkshake.
50s?
Yeah.
Good
When,
pair
when
of
could
shoes.
women vote? Does anybody know?
45
Good
cents.
thing for we're time travel and white dudes. It's always you pretty much could just
Yeah.
spin a wheel. You're good to
Time
go.
traveling not good for me. Speak for yourself, broad.
Broad is the best.
Can you
of all
pack
the
me a
words.
sandwich for my time
That's
travel?
true. Do me a favor. If I come on back, make sure you're wearing an apron.
Actually, an excellent cook. I've got you.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
I know I've had her cook. Here we go.
The cookies. Ever do the cookies
He's
again?
had my
I never
cookies.
clipped that out.
That's baking, though.
That's
All right,
baking.
we should probably talk about
What is
some
your
stuff.
signature?
Oh, we
Okay,
did
go
that.
ahead. We can
did
talk
that.
about
Sorry,
logo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Or
I'm
what's
sorry.
your
Oh my
signature
gosh!
dish?
Everybody, chill.
I'm gonna pick one. Oh, let's do this.
Oh, you're-
Well, no, you're gonna talk about it a little bit more, so we'll get into it. But let's talk about this one then. Werewolf
What?
by Night.
Is that?
Oh, you're gonna love this, Brett. Have you seen this trailer? I don't even know if they have a trailer yet for it, but maybe they did.
yeah, they did.
They did, because I know they did it at D23. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if they showed it to everybody. But
It's like a minute long, but
Michael
yeah.
Giacchino, who is the famous
Score man.
composer, he's directing this take on Werewolf by Night, which is a Marvel thing, but it looks like an old school, like those 50s werewolf things. You love that shit.
Yeah, totally.
So I think you're gonna dig it. But where's let me find, because they did like a special screening for it. People are losing their
Oh,
minds.
the whole thing.
Yeah, I forget where it was, but so Werewolf by Night is set in the MCU for sure. I think people were asking if it was like a one-off and if it didn't really like connect at all. So early reactions from Marvel Studios' upcoming one-off special Werewolf by Night came out yesterday with raves for the 53-minute black and white horror tale, which evokes classic monster movies.
So it's 53 minutes. That's wild runtime for this. What is it then?
It's like I guess it's just kind of like a.
Sure.
I guess if you look at like an hour, maybe it's like an hour and a half TV movie without the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, when they used to run TV movies like that back in the day, but it'd be about an hour and a half because they had all the commercials.
That timing's off.
I don't know what to tell you. Celebrated composer Michael Giacchino makes his directing debut on the project, which finally seems to deliver the one thing that Marvel often promises but occasionally delivers: something genuinely different. Oh man, salty shots fired.
Ooh.
It's stylized, full of cinematic transitions, heavily reliant on practical creature design, and it is a genuine horror story with a fair amount of brutality. Giacchino tells Slash Film that the story is definitely a part of the MCU. Just don't expect tie-ins to what else is going on out there, as it is a self-contained story. Giacchino says, we always looked at it as a night in the life of Jack and Elsa, and we never shed away from the fact that, okay, yes, this exists somewhere in the MCU. Somewhere else in the world at this moment, Spider-Man is swinging on something, and Captain America is doing something, but we're not going to bother with that. We're just worried about this moment right here, wherever we are. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter, Giacchino says he was surprised that the project earned a TV 14 rating, as he always assumed they would get a harder rating. We always assumed it would be TVMA, but I wasn't always involved with what was happening on that end in terms of ratings and all that, but I am sure you are absolutely right that the black and white did help us with a certain range.
Yeah, with
Probably,
violence
yeah.
and stuff, that makes a lot of sense. It's crazy that this is a Frozen crossover.
Right? Jack and Elsa.
I
knew that.
Go
suck
back to that first
sometimes.
quote. Go back to that first quote, because I think I can make anything dirty.
Okay.
let's see.
Let's the first quote.
try
Okay,
it.
go
Yeah.
ahead, Brett.
So we always looked at Night in the life of Jack and Elsa. We never shared no, here's the part. So Spider-Man is swinging on something. Captain America's doing something.
You think he's swinging on a dick?
Yeah, I think he's swinging on a ding.
Yeah, a little dee-dee. Little dee-dee-dee.
Diddly-doo.
Diddly-doo.
Didn't have my glasses.
No, nobody does.
But,
look, this show, as I said when I watched it, everything that they said about this, the early reactions, I think played in the trailer, where I said, okay, I think that people, like, I feel like Bibiani is going to love this, unless he hates it because everyone else loves it. But I feel like he's going to...
That was as salty as this article was to MCU.
But he knows. He and I play with this stuff all the time. I think he's a brilliant critic. I think Bibiani's a brilliant
I
critic.
disagree with him on almost everything.
Same. but to me, if someone can articulate the way that he does, he's earned his spot as he's a great critic. I disagree with every opinion, and I think a lot of the times he just posts things against my opinions just to be contrarian, and I tell him that to his face. But I think that he always backs up with what he's saying. So go ahead, Bibbs, do your thing. But I feel like this could be something that he loves. but it doesn't look like it's anything for me because I was like, okay, it's just an homage for this old school kind of monster creature filmmaking. But what I do think why it is very important, and I'm glad that they're doing it, it's very similar to the same reason why I responded so much, and a lot of people did, to Prey, right?
I still didn't see it.
You still haven't seen Prey? Oh,
No,
you love it.
how weird is that?
You love it. So fire back on the budgets. Fire back, or even if you don't even fire back on the budgets, make it look like you fired back on the budgets. Because I'm hoping that somebody takes this approach, whether it's this homage to this monster movie, and makes it feel that way. And Stranger Things did that in the season 1 with the way that it kind of made it feel very 80s and kind of old school and with the music. I want somebody to do this with Terminator so badly. Ooh. I want them to go back. Like, if you're going to do a series about Terminator, if you're going to do another movie, people are like, Terminator's dead. In the way that they've been making it lately, I agree with you. But if you go back to that 1984 Stan Winston effects, old school horror kind of filmmaking, I think it can work. And I think this type of show proves that if it's handled with care, it can work.
Where is it? Is it a show or is it a movie? Is it going to be on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. Yeah,
Okay,
it's like
it's
a one-off special for like Halloween.
It's interesting that you said that this isn't necessarily for you, but you're glad that it's happening because the person who told me about this was Darina, and who is a horror junkie, and this is the first thing I've heard her excited about in terms of Marvel.
It's right up her alley.
Yeah, and so I'm excited about that for people who are excited about this. But I do think that was a weird shot because even things like She-Hulk, so different, breaking the mold from Marvel. I don't think that Marvel has the problem anymore of everything being the same. We have gone so into different genres. I mean, like straight up all over the place.
I agree. I mean, they did this much so with Captain America and like Winter Soldier for the spy thriller. But I understand. I think it was a salty shot for sure in that article. But I do understand where, well, She-Hulk, right? It's clearly they're going after the sitcom, the Ally McBeal, but it still has. You're right, but they're still throwing in superheroes and things of that nature to make it feel like it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This, even though it takes place in the Marvel, I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, you wouldn't even know. Like all of those shows, She-Hulk included, it's part of Marvel. I think that's what Chiquino's saying. He's going, yeah, look. At somewhere, there are superheroes in our world. We just don't acknowledge them because that's
swinging
not the story.
on something.
Swinging on the dicks. But I'm not surprised at all that Darina is excited for Werewolf by Night.
Right.
I'm glad that it's short. I'm not gonna. I mean, there's so many 3.5, 4 hour films out here.
Special.
Like, just want to see like something little snippet, snippet of something.
So I'm not at all surprised that it's getting. I'm glad for Chiquino, who I like a lot, and that's another reason probably why she's so excited for it.
For sure.
I love that image.
Yeah, the image is great. It's really great.
I thought that was Rob Zombie coming after us.
Yeah, it probably will be. That's
What did you say?
Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's see. We'll move on to another story. There's so many stories to talk about, guys, and this is a big one. So Blade's been jumping back to the MCU here. Apparently, Blade is losing their director. Interesting.
Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. Let's find out why. Filmmaker Bassam Tariq, who did Mowgli, which I have not seen, has dropped out of directing the Blade film at Marvel Studios. Now, the project has been getting ready to kick off filming this November in Atlanta, and it's unclear how his departure will impact the production start of the. I don't know. That's it. Unclear how this departure will impact the production start of the vampire action thriller.
It will impact the production start.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oscar winner Mahershala Ali steps into the role of the half-immortal vampire hunting daywalker previously made famous by the Wesley Snipes-led trilogy. In a statement, Marvel said, due to continued shifts in our production schedule, bullshit, Bassam is no longer moving forward. It's what they always say. Moving forward as a director of Blade, but will remain an executive producer on the film. That's what they always do. We appreciate Bassam's talent and all the work he's done getting Blade to where it is, that's probably true. The studio is reportedly already in search mode for a new director. The project has been... Was that?
The studio reportedly is already in search mode for a new director? Yes.
Right away, especially if they're going in November.
November?
Nice
what do you mean?
scoop.
In 2 months, you have a movie. The studio's in search for a new director.
Right.
Where'd you get that one, Scoops McGee?
Scoops McGee's a Dan Murrell character. Did you know that? That's hilarious. Delroy Lindo and Aaron Pierce co-star in Blade, which currently remains on track for November 3rd, 2023 release. Yeah, they're going to be rushing this out because of that's the problem that the MCU has, right? When you get to a place where if somebody drops out or something, you can't. If you announce a slate like this, you can't start shifting things around because I was rewatching the MCU with Viv. I said to her, I was like, this feels like a TV show, right? She's like, yeah, it all feels like a TV show because we're on Winter Soldier right now. So she's like asking all these questions. It's adorable watching it with her. But you can't shift things around because the director drops out. You've got to go after a new one. But what do you guys think? Because I do get skeptical when I hear scheduling, because that's, what do we tell him? The guy just threw a glass bottle at Cheryl and took off. What do we do? Scheduling issues.
Yeah.
Which is super not what you're claiming happened here in this specific situation.
No, of course not. I'm just saying in general, not
with
this
you.
guy.
What I usually think,
I don't even know who Cheryl is.
especially when it's somebody who is newer like him. I'm not saying that he's green, but he is not a household name of a director. I usually think that he has a vision that doesn't align
100%. That's what
with
happened.
the vision, and then they go with somebody who's going to be more of a company man.
Look, Marvel is a machine right now. And so here's what I think probably happened. I think very, very close to what Roxy just said. And I think that what has happened recently with both Doctor Strange and Love and Thunder have been the two movies from Marvel recently, and even Eternals, which I liked.
Me too.
Yeah. But all three of those movies, they grabbed very stylistic directors with their own style and their own look, and said, okay, we're gonna do something a little different here. Instead of getting these really great directors we've had in the past and having them direct a Marvel movie, we're gonna give them a Marvel property and let them do a Sam Raimi movie, and let them do a Taika movie, let them do a Chloe Zhao movie. We're gonna let them do that. And all three of those movies have been mixed, and they've gone away from the formula. And a lot of people go, oh, let the directors make their movies. And then they come out and say, oh, man, that one didn't work out. Taika made a comedy. And then I sat down. I brought this up many times. I was sitting down right before the screening with Winston, and they were doing the interview with Kevin Feige on the carpet. And they said, normally, I think it was Eric Ishii that asked him this. He said, normally you do so Captain America Winter Soldier was a spy thriller, and Ant-Man was a heist film, and this was this. What's Thor: Love and Thunder? And he goes, oh, this is a Taika movie. And I went, oh, no. And I love Taika, but I went, oh, no, that's not good. So what I think happened here was there, and that's another reason why they got the director of WandaVision to now do Fantastic Four, because he plays ball, as you were saying, and is company man, but plays towards the vision. And I think this is exactly what happened. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to make my own thing. Yeah. And you are. The same way that, look at Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler makes Ryan Coogler movies. For sure, but he's playing within Marvel. I don't think he's necessarily a company man.
I don't mean company man negatively. I know that it has a negative connotation.
You're saying stick with the plan.
I just mean that they understand the greater vision and aren't trying to piss in the soup,
right.
Which is already a great soup, you know. And I think that that works. That might not work at DC right now because the company has no fucking vision. And the directors have to come in and do it. They don't have a Feige. But when you do have that and you see it's working, then being a company man just means that you're part of the team. You're part of the overall vision.
I know what you mean. I'm telling you, if you could really get Feige off the record, I think he'd be like, look, we took a shot with letting Raimi do his own thing, letting Taika do his own thing, letting Chloe do her thing. And all three of those movies have been the ones that have been the most split out of in recent times.
That's super true, and it is weird because I don't love two of those movies. I'm with you. I'm on the same page as you, but when you look at something like Eternals, it does make me hope that more directors are able to do their thing because I loved that movie.
I did too, I thought out of the three of those movies, it was in most sync with the plan though. I think it had her style all over it, but it felt more like a Marvel movie to me than out of the three of them, Thor: Love and Thunder's, and it's you might as well have been on Mad TV.
I've got to see this so I can get my assessment
it's
of
so
it.
Goofy.
No, I disliked
goofy.
Doctor Strange way more than I disliked Thor.
I got to rewatch both of them again too, because you don't get any more of it's a Sam Raimi movie, 100% a Sam Raimi. I think
I like him, but I didn't. I like that.
Yeah, I get it. So now, but here's the thing: I do think that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will clearly be a Ryan Coogler movie. However, as you said, I think he knows the plan. He knows how to play with it. He knows how to make a Marvel movie the same way it was a Ryan Coogler movie. He knew how to make a Rocky movie, but make a Creed.
He also has some serious heavy lifting to do that he must be in cahoots with the studio about. I mean, they've got to be talking about it.
Did you hear how long this movie's supposed to be?
No.
2 hours and 40 minutes. They said Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is supposed to be 240 apparently. From the reports from
240 is long.
That's long.
For a comic book movie too.
It would be I forget how long Endgame was.
I think it's like 240 something, isn't
Endgame.
it?
Let's see. We'll find out right now. Endgame runtime.
All I can tell you is Blonde was that long, and that was a challenge. It's a challenge.
Endgame Endgame was 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Wow.
So
I thought it was 240.
that's the longest one. I think after that, I think No Way Home is the second.
Do you remember Titanic feeling like it? I don't know if you guys had Titanic on VHS, but it came in 2 different VHSs, and I would watch it at my TV screen in my kitchen, which was the size of my hand, and being like, "This is the longest movie of all time." And now 3-hour movies are.
They pop up more than often. Yeah, it's true. It's
definitely.
true.
You weren't old enough to see it in the theater, right?
Titanic? What year was it? 96? 97?
Was what it. 97 into 98, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it in the theater,
No,
but I did watch it before school in elementary school on VHS. Never let go.
So they're rumoring it. It's like the movie's like 240. Would you bet that it is 245, or would you bet something else? Well, think about that, and why you're thinking about betting, you should bet on MyBookie. MyBookie, everybody. If you haven't checked out MyBookie, you should be, and I'm so glad they keep coming back. And I'm glad that they're back because people have been using them. And why aren't you? It is football season, everybody. And you know football, and you pick winners all the time, so why not just get paid for them at MyBookie? You can bet single game spreads, money lines, parlay multiple together to increase your payouts. There's low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won. Make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have fun. Getting started is very easy. You go to mybookie.ag and you use that promo code BIGTHING on your first deposit to secure a double deposit bonus. That is promo code BIGTHING to get your deposit matched dollar for dollar all the way up to $1,000. MyBookie is a proven sports book that makes it simple to bet and win. So make this your winning season exclusively at MyBookie. I'm telling you, man, if you're going in, like I almost did it against the Cowboys because I hate them so much with the Giants. But I told you last week I don't bet on my teams.
No, you're not supposed to.
Bet on my teams, and I was glad I didn't because they lost. And I'm going to hear about it on Capes and Cows tomorrow, I'm sure. But either way, MyBookie, what I think is, how great is that? If you put like $100, you get 200.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's definitely
I love it.
awesome.
So make sure you check that out and let me know if you're using it. And you should, especially if you're going to bet on the game. You're not using a code. You have ours. Okay, it's TV time.
Yeah, it's time.
Roxy Stryer has constantly been, every time she's on the show, has been doing the research, has been telling us what we should be watching for the weekend, and we got some stuff. Roxy, we got some stuff here. What do we got?
So Handmaid's Tale is back, and
Oh no!
what happened?
You know what? This is on me, Rox.
What happened?
There was
I gotta get those photos for you. Hold on, there's gonna be a ton of them here, guys. So
Ooh.
you know what? This is not true. Let me make sure that I have it for you.
This is not true.
Not true at all.
I thought there was music or something.
No, not yet. All right, here it is. First one, Roxy.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
somebody make me a music cue.
I know
Let's go.
I got to talk to our good friend
Look at
David
that
B.
image.
And starting over. Okay,
Yes.
there's a ton of stuff that you guys need to be watching right now. Handmaid's Tale is back for season 5. It's still on Hulu, and it is still the creepiest show on television. A lot of people talk about how parts of the show hit close to home, so it definitely trigger warning, watch at your own risk, but it is unbelievable. Have you guys ever seen an episode of Handmaid's
Yes,
Tale?
I saw episode 1.
Excuse me.
Is that a no?
Brett watches it all the time.
I have a wife.
Did you say he watches it all the time?
I do. I've seen every.
You caught up?
Yeah, I'm caught up. I
season?
haven't seen this season.
Okay, so
No,
excuse me.
because I'm watching epic programming, and so let me ask you this before we should I start Handmaid's Tale or should I do The Patient
Okay, great question because I am going to talk about The Patient. I'm going to reserve my.
Until you
I
review
plead,
it.
Yeah,
Got
I'm
it,
gonna
got it.
plead the fifth for now. But Handmaid's Tale is definitely worth your
so
guys'
good.
time. I do think that this actually would be a very difficult but great show to binge because we are 5 seasons deep and a lot has taken place. But you have to kind of be a glutton for punishment to enjoy this show in any way. It's just wildly well done. And so if you love great television, this is great television. But at least this season, finally, we're getting our due. Like, we're getting a little revenge. We're getting our comeuppance. Comeuppance?
Comeuppance.
Comeuppance?
Comeuppance. Comeuppance.
Comeuppance.
Moving on up.
I've been saying comeuppance for a really long
Have
time.
you really? Comeuppance?
Yeah, comeuppance.
Hey, make it your own.
Well, anyway.
Sometimes you don't need to say it on air.
Yeah, well, and this time I did. I think Handmaid's Tale is awesome, and this season is really good. We are watching Elizabeth Moss, who is just wildly talented, show a new light to the character that we haven't seen in a little bit. It's creepy, it's scary, and she's knocking it out of the park. So I think that definitely watch this one.
If you want to see her knock it out of the park, then you should go and
Knock
check that
it.
out.
Is that what I said?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I love this today.
Oh, good. She can speak. Speaking of
what you got next?
knocking things, Dahmer, yo. Oh, my God.
So is this not the creepiest show on TV? You said the other one was.
What, the thing about this one that's creepy is that it's real.
Yeah.
You know, when you're watching this show, which is on Netflix, by the way, it's 10 episodes. It's starring Evan Peters, who is so effing good. I think
are
it's
raving
like
about
the
this.
4th time he's played a serial killer.
Is it really? Okay.
This man really nails serial killer.
Quicksilver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's quite the killer, and people are gonna love that. He's really good. The show starts immediately, almost immediately, the first episode with him getting arrested.
Oh.
So that's not a spoiler, but that means that what we do for the entire 10 episodes is we play around with timeline. So like we bounce back from 87, 91, we're kind of all over the place because I think that they wanted you immediately to know this man gets his comeuppance and he gets his comeuppance. And they need you to know that because this is the most disgusting serial killer ever. Like what we're watching is somebody who not only kills dozens, I don't even know how many, of people, drugs them, assaults them, eats them, freezes them, like all of the things, which a lot of people know. But this show shows it to us.
Pure definition of a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, monster. And then when confronted about it is like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's what I do. You know?
Never lies about it.
No, and it's just, to know this person existed just makes you feel icky in your own skin.
Right.
Just really, truly horrible. The show's excellent, but I don't know how to recommend this to somebody.
It's
because
very hard because I had the guy who handles a lot of our podcast stuff. He and I talk all the time, and he's like, have you thought about covering Dahmer? He's like, it's really popular. And I was like, I just don't. I saw the trailer, and I think that the trailer I watched, and I thought he looked great in it. Mm-hmm. I said, I just don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I completely hear you. Can I tell you the truth about this show?
Yeah.
Is that I never do this with shows ever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll hit the 15-second skip on Netflix through things on this because I'm just like I see what you guys are about to. You're about to show me him eating somebody. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I get what you're about to show me, and I don't need to see that. I get that he's about to drug this person's drink for the 50th time. I actually am going to skip 15 seconds on that
Like
because
you get it. It's powerful.
it's powerful,
Yeah.
but I'm like
I get
sitting
it.
there at night alone watching
I
it,
know.
like shaking in my boots.
That's
It's creepy.
That's why I was like, that is one of the things when people ask me, like being out on my own, right? Like I choose the stuff that I want to watch, if it's popular or not. Like if I just don't, and it's nothing against Evan Peters. I love Evan Peters.
That's why you have me.
100%, and I also don't think that it is nothing against the filmmakers. It's nothing against anything. I just don't know if I want to put myself through that for that long.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
No part of the show is fun. Like no.
Nor should
part
it
of
be.
Yeah, nor should it be.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like what they did with that Zac Efron thing when he was Ted Bundy, when they tried to make like a comedy and stuff.
Yeah,
It didn't
that
work.
was-
loud and close and
Yeah,
whatever it
didn't
was.
work.
Yeah. But the thing about this show that also makes it difficult to recommend the same thing that was difficult about recommending Pam and Tommy or any of these shows is that the victims' families were like, don't make the show. We don't want
Yeah.
the show. Please
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
make
they
the
did.
show. So that's challenging. And they
Yeah.
made the show anyway. And the show is excellently done, but it's also like, I don't know that you guys should
Why
have
would
made
you
the
want
show
to watch?
either.
Yeah, why would you want to watch that if this was like your you're, whether it was your uncle or whoever it might have been, and that's how you knew that happened, and you got to watch it on Netflix.
And it was in he was caught in the 90s, so a lot of these people
that he was caught in?
A lot of these people it's their kid,
right?
Their kid
Yeah,
that's gone, so it's
right,
like, of course they don't want
right.
to watch it. So
Yeah,
the opposite of feel good, but if you guys want something that will make you feel a little better, I'm repping right now my Taylor Hawkins shirt because I went to the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert last night, courtesy of Mark Ellis. So grateful that he was able to take me. It was amazing. The concert last night started at 7 and it was done at 1:30 in the morning.
Who were some of the peeps that were on?
Every single person. It was everybody from Queen, from the Chili Peppers. It was John Paul Jones. It was Miley Cyrus, Alanis Morissette.
John Paul Jones from Bachelor in Paradise.
No, that'd be amazing. It was people from Led Zeppelin, people from Van Halen, people from every major, and obviously the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was wild to see drummers continue to circle through for all different acts to come on. Taylor Hawkins was the drummer for the Foo Fighters. He passed away, I'm going to say almost a year ago, several months ago. They did this tribute concert at Wembley, and then last night they did one in LA. Taylor's son played on the drums too, which was incredible. And the entire 6-hour Wembley concert right now is on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
If you are a fan of rock and roll, it is such a great thing to watch. Not only do they show the whole concert, but they intercut with some of the biggest legends of all time. Speaking about Taylor Hawkins, who
loved
it was amazing to watch. So if you love rock, and I think that they're going to do the same thing with the LA one last night. Dave Chappelle came and sang "Creep."
Really?
Oh my God. Dave Chappelle walked on stage, and I have some footage I'll show you. He literally sounded like a Muppet. It was unbelievable. He came on and was like, it's like how I do Yoda.
Is it hilarious?
It was, yes, but I knew he might make an appearance because he came to Wembley, which I saw because I watched the Paramount Plus show.
I remember that, yeah.
And he just talked about Taylor because he loves rock and roll and he loved Taylor. And then he comes on stage and you think he's going to introduce something because Jack Black came on stage and spoke. And so I was like, oh, Dave Chappelle's here. And then he just full-blown starts singing "Creep," and then afterwards Dave Grohl's like, didn't expect that, did you?
That's amazing.
And it was just like thing after thing. It was over a 6-hour show. So it was just like...
Last night was a 6-hour show?
Over 6 hours. It was crazy. It went forever.
Yeah.
And
See, it was funny because I was supposed to go, and then I realized...
so sad you weren't there.
Well, I the thing is, what time did it start?
7.
Yeah. So what time did you get back home? 4 in the morning?
2.
Yeah. So that's a foreign territory.
Way too much fun, and hearing that Steph didn't know half the bands was great to hear.
It was amazing though. She had a great time because she knew a lot of the songs because they're playing the most popular. Motley Crue was there, which was bizarre to see them all come on stage. No, they didn't play that though.
No?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You
Makes
should have
sense.
asked.
Probably not. We probably can't play that in 2023.
No.
2022. Is it 2022?
Stuart Copeland was there. It was like some of the most famous drummers of all time. Roger was there. Brian May, who did "Love My Life." It was incredible.
That's
Just
awesome.
amazing. So if you missed it, go to Paramount Plus. They stream the entire Wembley one. It is 6 hours of your time, so you might want to put it on when you're cooking or doing something else. But it's great.
I love it. All right, well let's end strong then, Rox. We did that one already. That's not it. Let's end strong.
That's not it.
That's Dave Grohl that you've got.
This one?
Yeah, but you gotta let me talk about the patient.
Oh,
also.
okay.
But okay, House of the Dragon. This show.
No, we'll end with House of the Dragon. Go with the patient. Go ahead.
Okay, well, both of these are strong. The Patient is excellent. I can't keep asking you guys to do this without getting annoyed with you that you guys are not watching the show because it's 22 minutes it's just 22 minutes a week. That's all you have to commit to it. This is Steve Carell's best performance ever. It is so good. This show.
Emmy?
Yeah. Give them all of them right now.
Wow, okay.
Just sign him up for the Emmys
Okay.
because I think this is going to be a limited series and he's going to sweep. This show is going to sweep.
Okay.
It's excellent. How do you say Domhnall Gleeson?
Donald.
Donald Gleeson is fantastic in this too. It's creepy, but it's only 22 minutes, so you can stomach
But
it.
not Dom or creepy.
No.
Okay.
And that's real.
Yeah.
This is a little bit, you can stomach it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's also so isolated because 90% of this takes place in one room, which is wild to see how they make that entertaining. You have to watch The Patient. It's FX, Hulu, 22 minutes a week. Commit to it now. Everybody's going to be talking about this come award season, so
do it.
just to watch
Is
it. Yeah.
FX Hulu different than just Hulu? Do I have to have something else?
No. So all FX shows, because Disney owned, now go to Hulu.
Oh, perfect.
And
Okay.
so it's FX if you have cable or Hulu if you.
Which is how I watch Shield.
I like it.
Have you watched Old Man yet?
Excellent.
No, that's
Oh,
God. You know what? What am I doing here? I should just be home watching things.
Stuff. Yeah, it's true. All right, so then then let's close.
And strong, House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Now, I thought of you immediately. If I can talk about this real quick.
Yeah, give it to me.
So this was something that I thought of very much, and we're going to talk spoilers here. So if you haven't seen it, you should probably shut this off right now. So the very end of this episode, we're put back in that same position that we were in episode 1, with the difference being that two differences. One, Damon says, "Is she going to survive?" And no, he does not make that call. But she doesn't give him the opportunity to make that call. She goes, "Fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on my own terms." And she walks out, says to the dragon, screams to the dragon. Dragon's like, "You sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." Screaming Dracarys at him or whatever. And then the dragon lights her up. So that to me, that was always planned. So does that make, because of what happened in this episode, knowing that was already planned, does that make the first one different?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that they are showing the juxtaposition of two people, neither of whom are perfect, some of whom are worse than others, but and how they treat women and when they do ask for certain things versus when they don't. I also think that it's not like doctors today that know everything. Like, you could see this guy's like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if they're gonna whatever, which is my problem with the initial thing. But I do think that I saw an article that's talking about this show kind of digging itself a little bit of a hole right now, and I wonder how they're going to get out of it. The entire show is about who's going to end up on the throne, right? The fight for the throne. And they are making none of the characters good guys. None of the characters are people.
The really good ones just died in the fire. The only ones that were good.
Yeah. So that is interesting when people now are rooting for the lesser of the evils. And this show is really working for me, and I did appreciate this. It still doesn't, to me, rectify the first episode, but I do like what they did here, and it does make it make sense a little bit more. But I think that it's going to be fascinating that, unlike in Game of Thrones, where I was like, put Sansa on the throne. Sansa on the throne. Here, I'm like,
You don't know who you want. I will say, though, that I think that Rhaenyra makes some questionable choices, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But from what Emma Darcy does in this, now I didn't know how I was going to feel about them when they came in because of how
the new cast, you mean? Or
No,
you didn't
Emma.
know? You didn't know how you're going to feel about what? Specifically
their
her?
performance.
Oh, they.
So
I didn't know.
yeah. So when and again, it had nothing to do with Emma Darcy. It was the idea that I just really liked Millie Alcock's performance.
Yeah, really good.
But the way that they introduced Rhaenyra, the older Rhaenyra, in this with the tracking shot and the idea of giving birth, I'm like, okay, right away, Darcy has earned this.
Yeah.
Right away I'm like, okay, no more reservation. And then Olivia Cook is outstanding.
Olivia Cook is so good.
Outstanding. And so where they're at, but I think that Rhaenyra, though, the character of Rhaenyra, she is, to me, starting to make choices more as the queen, that's going to become the future queen, protecting, understanding. I thought she did make a good choice in the understanding with her husband going, look, I could just tell you to stay here like I did, but I could just bring you with me and go follow me, but bring your guy.
Yeah.
Bring your guy. That to me was okay. That was a good decision. That was a nice decision. Like, that was someone who I think she is a good person. I think she makes stupid
But you see
choices.
the havoc that she's wreaking
Yes.
on all
Yes.
of these men
Yes.
that
Yes,
are just
true.
fucked up
Yes.
over her.
Yeah. Well, your boy now. How do you feel about your boy Sir Kristian now?
I think that I feel bad. I feel
Yeah.
bad about him.
He is jaded.
Yeah. Oh my God. But I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But he's just coming off like a bitter bitch.
He is coming a little bit rich, and that whole thing. But even the fact that he taunts the dude and he's picking on those kids because he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That whole scene, like the idea behind it. You know who we also haven't seen a lot of that might turn out to be the good guy is Graham McTavish's character of Sir Harold Westerling. Now he's only been in a few episodes here and there, but we haven't gotten enough.
Yeah,
from
early
him.
on.
Yeah, we haven't got enough from him. He could be, and look, we're also only 6 episodes into this thing. We could very well get.
But 6
some more.
episodes of what?
No, I'm saying I don't disagree.
No, I mean season 1,
season 1. How many? I don't know.
Just,
well, they're definitely doing season 2.
So is this journey? Is season 2 a decade, 2 decades of the future, 4 decades of the future, or is this journey going to end? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that the majority of it is the battle for the throne and the civil war that eventually happens, because they're really I don't there's in no world do Alicent and Rhaenyra get back on the same page anymore.
Who do you prefer of the two of them?
Character-wise?
Yeah.
Hard. It's hard. Because I understand where they're both coming from.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's what they've done. Not the problem. That's what they've done very well.
The scene where Rhaenyra has to bring her baby to the queen after giving birth was like, oh my God.
That's what I meant. That
just right the blood dripping down like the hall. But
that's what I was saying. Be like the second... They're like, well, how are we going to... Everybody loves what Millie Alcock does. How are we going to introduce Emma at this point? And they're like, here's the scene. And for an actor to come in and do that...
Crazy. And
fire that in there. I knew right away what this version of Rhaenyra has been through. Because like, oh, she's not... She's not as forgiving, or excuse me, as joyful as she was. Yeah, this is 10 years of shit. Yeah. And I think that now the way that they're playing her is perfect.
What is the Emma? Is that their name?
Emma Darcy.
What have I seen them in before? I did recognize them. Nothing.
I don't.
Maybe British.
I was not familiar. Probably.
Yeah. British shit.
British shit. That was the name of the show. British shit. Okay, look, we've gone over, but I will say this: how many episodes of Andor are you in?
4.
And?
It's good.
This past episode was the best.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't understand the whole show. Like, I understand parts of it.
Oh, I want you to ask me questions.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, thank you, because I tried to ask Ace questions, and no, Ace was so sweet trying to explain things to me, but I don't think he understood how little I understood.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm getting parts of it, but there was like a basic premise that I missed because I really like it, but I don't get all of it.
That's fine.
I've got some. You should reach out to the fans because they're usually very helpful and understanding when you don't understand.
I know. People were like, "You're a fucking idiot if you don't get this," and I was like, I'm an idiot.
I want. You and I will talk about this, but look, we'll talk about it a little bit more, and maybe we'll talk about Andor next week for sure. But we had a great show here, and there's a lot of stories that we left off the table. By the way.
Like what?
There was... Roxy, don't ask me that right now, because then I got to go into them.
Yeah, Jesus.
Didn't you tell me you were going to tell me who might be the guest?
Oh, yes, thank you. And that was one of the stories. So they mentioned about Blue Beetle and how Warner Brothers is very supportive over it. And they are not going... Because people were worried it was going to get canceled, but it's not. They're very supportive of it. So my guest coming into studio, hopefully within the next week or two, is Xolo Maridueña.
Whoa.
So, the Blue Beetle himself, a.k.a. Miguel from Cobra Kai.
Nice.
So, just he and I have been speaking about it, and I've been working with his team to get him in here soon. So, I
finished Cobra Kai, by the way.
And? Did you love it?
Excellent.
So great. Did you see my interview with Terry Silver?
No.
Oh, you need to.
Really?
So good. He gives a little, it's really great.
I thought the show this season was just as great as other seasons.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
All right, listen. What we want you guys to do is make sure that you leave your comments for sure. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast feed. Follow us on Spotify. Make sure you're subscribed to the Apple Podcast feed. Download the episodes. Very helpful. If you want to go to that Amazon list, it's right there. Make sure you check that out. Patreon. We got the new tiers coming in October. Whether it's the watch-alongs that we're doing, I do my Q&As. I have half-an-hour sessions that I do with people one-on-one. I think there's 4 spots limited right now, but I think we're going to up that next month. And that's it, man. I'm really excited for this show. Thank you once again to all of you for making the studio the way it is. Please leave your comments. Thanks to Roxy. Thanks to Brett. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace out, everybody. It's the big thing. We'll see you next time. Bye.